What's up everybody? Welcome to in this video series I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know about SQL. SQL is a language which is used to interact with Relational Database Management System. The acronym for Relational Database Management System is RDBMS. This RDBMS is basically a software application which we can use for create and manage different databases. We will talk about what is a database, what SQL is, and etc. We will install something called RDBMS, I mean Relational Database Management System. It is just software we can use to manage database. We will install MySQL because this MySQL is the best for beginners. And guys, I want to start with, before we going to learn what is database, what is SQL, I want to start with what is data. So you can see here I have some kind of information. For example, I wrote here types of data. Transport is a types of data, or geographical, it's also types of data. For example, here you can see I have scientific data. This scientific is the types of data. And for example, your DNA, your biological information about you is the scientific data. Data is collection of a distinct small unit of information. It can be used in a variety of forms like text, numbers, media, bytes, or etc. It can be stored in pieces of paper or electronic memory. What I mean by electronic memory, you can store your data in the computer, you can store your data in the paper, or etc. etc. Word data is originated from the word datum. That means single piece of information. It is plural of the word datum. In computing, data is information that can be translated into the form for efficient movement and processing. So we said actually data is interchangeable. And here I wrote data is collection of facts, figures, and values from different sources. So guys, let's continue. What is database? Database is location where data is stored in certain format. You can see here, this guy is my user and my data is processed by my user. And when my user processes this data, I can convert this into meaningful format. What I mean by meaningful format, I mean this meaningful format by computer. Okay, 01011001 or etc. And after converting this, we can store this data as schema or raw data. Actually, database is organized collection of data so that it can be easily accessed and managed. You can organize data into tables, rows, column, and index it to make it easier to find relevant information. Database handlers create a database in such a way that only one set of software program provides access of data to all the users. The main purpose of data is to operate a large amount of information by sorting, retrieving, and managing data. By the way, guys, in this video series, we will also learn what is CRUD. And CRUD is the acronym that stands for C, create, R, retrieve or replace, U stands for update, and D stands for delete. And here I said the main purpose of database is to operate a large amount of information by storing, retrieving, and managing data. There are many dynamic websites on the World Wide Web nowadays which are handled through databases. For example, a model that checks the availability of rooms in a hotel. It's an example of dynamic website that uses database. How this handles database? For example, I have a hotel and I have rooms that is filled or not that is not filled, okay? And if this new guest coming to my hotel and guest ask me if I have free room or not, and how I can answer to this question, I can answer to this question knowing my data. And my data about hotel is, do I have any free room? I mean, do I have a empty room, or all rooms ill occupied or filled? Okay, so this is the dynamic data example for our database. Actually, there are many databases available like MySQL, Oracle, MongoDB, PostgreSQL, SQL Server. And in this video series, we will learn MySQL, because MySQL is the way to go for beginners. Modern databases are managed by Database Management System, DBMS, or Relational Database Management System, RDBMS. Okay. Here I have one more example for you guys. So let's see, what is database? Any collection of related information. And here I said database is a location where data is stored in a certain format. And here I said any collection of related information. For example, what can be a database? Your phone book is your database, because in your phone book you have numbers. Shopping list is also database, because your shopping list is your all elements in the shopping list is the data, and your shopping list is database, because let's come here. Database is the location where data is stored. You can see this shopping list is database, and database is the location your data is stored. For example, to-do list. You have to do exercise, your homework, or freelance work, whatever it is, okay? And that is your to-do list. Your 5 best friends is also your database. Facebook user base, for example, also database. And here I wrote databases can be stored in different ways. Actually, in the first example, I said what is data, and here I said where you can store your data. For example, on the paper, you can store your data on the paper or in your mind. For example, let's assume you have a girlfriend and you have some data about your girlfriend, and that is your data, and database is your mind, because you store data about your girlfriend in your mind, and where you store your data is called database. For example, on a computer, you see this picture, okay? When you see this picture, this is the data, and where data is stored called database, and computer is my database. For example, this PowerPoint or comments section. Okay, I want to show you types of databases. For example, disrupted database, object-oriented database, centralized database, operational, graph, NoSQL, CLUD, and relational. In this lecture, in this video series, we will see relational database and NoSQL database. I'm gonna show you this NoSQL and relational databases. Let's come to this new slide, next slide, and let me show you popular databases. MongoDB is one of the most popular databases, PostgreSQL or MySQL. And here I have Microsoft SQL Server and Oracle SQL also. And I can tell you guys, if you learn this MySQL, you can write SQL, MongoDB, SQL Server, Oracle, or PostgreSQL, because they have kind of like of same syntax. And let's continue, and let me show you what is SQL. Actually, SQL is structured query language. And I'm gonna talk to you about what you can do using SQL, or what can SQL do. SQL can execute queries against a database. SQL can retrieve data from a database or insert records into database, can update, delete records from or in database, And SQL can create new database or drop the database that exists. SQL can create store procedures in database, and let's say one more example. SQL can create views in database. Let's come to the new PowerPoint and let me show you features of SQL. SQL has well-defined standards. SQL is easy to learn, and in this video series we will see that it's so easy to learn. With the help of SQL, no one can create multiple views. Actually, I said no one can create one, can create multiple views. And also probability of code in SQL is prominent feature. Okay guys, in this lecture we talked about what is data, what is database, relational database management system, and also we talked about SQL. I want to finish this lesson here, and in the next lecture we will continue our examples, we will continue our explanation. And before we begin, we need to learn all of this, because these are the most important prerequisites for MySQL or any SQL language. I want to show you in the next lecture database management system, relational database management system, and we also will learn NoSQL or relational databases. Okay guys, let's finish our lesson here. Let's see you in the next video.